Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season number 5, European Division 2. This is Game 2 of a two-game series between Rize Gaming and Team Alpha. I'm GrandisV, and once again, I'll be joined by Mikelorus.
And game one, Enigma averaging a four-person black hole every single time he used it. Doesn't get much better than that. And sometimes just the threat of a skill that is dangerous enough. And I think that was definitely one of those times. But really, Alpha, they had pretty much everything in their lanes go very, very well for them. It was a slow Blink Dagger on their Bat Rider, but outside of that, can't really ask for much else. So for Rize, hopefully their lanes just go a little bit smoother. The Centaur got shut down completely. The Troll Warlord was actually pretty good in the jungle. Like he got a lot of farm, but outside of that farming role, he didn't actually do anything. So uh, Rize needs to do something a little bit different. But I like to see them. I like to see teams experiment with weird stuff like that jungling troll.
Yeah, I think it definitely has its place. Maybe not in that other game. I think you do kind of have to work around it like a Jungle Leech Commander where you have all of your lanes, just make sure that they're solid in and of themselves, they'll be able to do well. And yeah, getting farm is one thing, and actually using it is another. We'll have to see if we're going to see that jungle troll again from Team Alpha, but for now, they'll open up with the troll and the Juggernaut for their side, and Rise Gaming will get the Shadow Fiend.
And we previously saw the Chen being banned out. We might see that again, but Shadow Fiend as an opening, no Vengeful Spirit to partner up with that is not exactly ideal. You want that minus armor synergy, but grabbing a Bat Rider or something like that here for Rise Gaming just might be what they want to do. It is hard to counter pick up against the Juggernaut and Troll Warlord. As far as cores go, they do tend to get rather tanky, and they are dishing some serious damage as well. Whereas Shadow Fiend usually just going to be a little bit more of a softer hero there. So Rise, if they grab a Lion or something right now, I think that'll be pretty reasonable just to have some tools at shutting down these two dangerous cores. And, well, there you go.
Yeah, definitely so. Just any way to keep the Troll Warlord and Juggernaut at arm's length is, in a man-fighting situation, Shadow Fiend really can't win against a Jug and a Troll Warlord, which is pretty weird to say. Shadow Fiend usually is pretty good at that. In the second phase, we'll see the Tidehunter as well as the Chen band out.
So Rise Gaming definitely scared about that Juggernaut Chen combination as well. They should be. Whereas for Alpha, just getting rid of a couple of laners. Looks like both teams should be looking towards some form of initiation in this particular game. Uh, Batrider did an okay job in the last one, but most of the fights were just teams running into each other, which is less than ideal for both sides. But hey, what are you going to do? Uh, Batrider Clockwork still in the pool, and I'm pretty sure those teams or these teams are going to be looking for one of those two heroes.
Yeah, I think right now it's kind of Team Alpha's choice as to which one they want to pick up. If it's the Clockwork ban out the bat, and if it's the Bat Rider ban out the clock. Maybe they have something else in mind, but that seems pretty likely.
And then grab a Skywrath Mage for whoever gets the first pick, just because Skywrath works so very well with both those heroes. You get a free Mystic Flare with the Cogs, you get a free Mystic Flare with the Lasso, and you're going to be happy either way. So there's the Bat Rider, and Vengeful Spirit, unfortunately for Rise Gaming, banned out themselves, so they can't snap that one up in response. Got the Enigma and Bristleback also being banned out, just generally threatening heroes to deal with, especially that Enigma of Alpha last game. Hari was such a threatening force that well, it's hard to deal with that because he doesn't actually do anything except for be scary.
Yeah, and in the end, just commanding that focus was enough to buy a space for the rest of their team. And we'll have to see if that's going to be the case this game. For Rise Gaming, they are left with the decision for what their next pick is going to be. And the Clockwork and Scarth Mage you were talking about earlier are pretty likely candidates, but let's see. Outside of that, what's available?
Well, they could always grab a couple of supports. Again, Shaker was banned out in the last game, and Shaker is a decent hero up against Batrider. Disruptor also a possibility, and it would be a pretty nice one for them if they want to just grab that one up. The lanes from Alpha right now are pretty transparent. It's probably going to be a Troll Warlord mid, Batrider off, Juggernaut, and someone else in the safe lane. So preparing for those lanes, and you could have quite a few options available to you. In that sense, just in the laning stage by himself, though Disruptor usually isn't the most dangerous hero, he does a great job at shutting down Batrider early on.
Yeah, just by the very nature of him being able to zone him out, a decent zoning support, and always have the threat of glimpsing him back. It takes away Batrider's biggest escape in the offlane, which is just Firefly over the trees. But if you're drawn back into the kinetic field, it doesn't help you there. And yeah, it is what they're going to settle on. For Team Alpha, still lacking two of their supports. As far as what's left inside the pool, Witch Doctor's there, and I think that would be a pretty good pick.
I get a lot of extra healing there between Witch Doctor and Juggernaut, or just grab a Skywrath Mage. As I said, partnering the Scarith Mage with Batrider. We didn't really see it that many times in the last game. I think there was only one lasso into Mystic Flare. But if you can land that, then, well, so far, if you land it on anyone that Rise Gaming are packing right now, it'll just be a guaranteed kill. Also, you have lasso into Omni Slash, which is also a kill. So lots of instant kill combos for Team Alpha. As long as the Disruptor isn't there to stop it with the Glimpse, Static Storm, stuff like that, then 9 times out of 10, if you get the jump on someone, it's just going to be you get a kill and you get it so quickly that the enemies don't have a chance to react and retaliate.
Yeah, and that's very scary because unlike last game, this game the Batrider should have pretty free reign inside the jungle if he needs to fall back onto that. And up against the Zoning Support Supply and Disruptor, he probably will, but by no means is that a bad thing. As long as Batrider gets his level 2 out of the offlane, he can come out with a very quick blink. It's going to be a void for Rize Gaming.
So possibly going to be that offlane hero, maybe even setting up for an offensive tri-lane with someone who's not Faceless Void, Disruptor Lion +1. I was actually thinking about going for a Slark in this particular game. Well, it's not going to be there anymore, so I guess that's no longer worth talking about. But Faceless Void, usually you want to have heroes that dump damage into the Chronosphere. Shadow Fiend is a very good one. If you position your Chronosphere correctly, you'll just be able to freely right-click, land a couple raises, even use your Requiem if you need to, and that's a hell of a lot of damage. Disruptor Lion, not as much. You generally don't want to use Static Storm right on top of a Chronosphere. As nice as it seems, you want to wait until the Chronosphere is over, then put up the Kinetic Field Static Storm to just increase the duration of that disable.
Yeah, and it does work decently well, but the last pickup for Team Alpha is going to be the Sand King. Combos really nicely with the Scarith Mage, and is more than happy to just play passively. Have the Scarith Mage on zoning duties, and Sand King can do his business inside the jungle and just farm up the Blink Dagger there, or they can roam pretty nicely. With Concussive Shot, it allows Sand King to buy that space to get in range for the Burrow Strike, so I really like their supporting duo.
And if they land any one of those disables, then having a Juggernaut or Troll Warlord close in on their target is going to mean so much danger. Even though Faceless Void may have a time walk out, it's not always going to keep him perfectly safe. So, Rise, I don't think they could grab a hero that'll really be aggressively rotating and trying to shut down a jungling Sand King. And I don't even know if they could deal with the Sand King if he's going to be going aggressive. So they'll just have to get some strong lanes and hope for the best there. I don't know if this Faceless Void is going to go towards the off lane or not, but maybe Rise want to go for a super late game hero in like a Dusa or something.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst situation for them. In the end, they're going to settle on a Doom. Still doesn't for sure answer the question where these heroes are going, but it should probably be an off-lane Doom and safe lane farming Void.
Yeah, so Doom, usually I like Dooms in scenarios where you're really lacking crowd control and there's like a Storm Spirit on the enemy side or something like that. Clearly that's not the case in this game. They have a good amount of CC. Dooming the Juggernaut, dooming the Troll Warlord, these are all good ways to go, but the weakness is in the laning stage for the Doom. You can shut him down by quite a large margin, and Team Alpha have pretty much the perfect heroes to do that. Again, Sand King, Scarith Mage is a deadly combo in and of itself, and if it's Juggernaut or Troll Warlord to go up against that Doom, then that's not going to mean that that's going to mean that Doom doesn't really have a long lifespan. So I'm concerned for Doom's ability to survive. He might have to go to the jungle pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think so. Even if the Sand King doesn't show his face inside that lane, just having the Jug and the Scarith Mage should be enough to zone him up pretty effectively. That said, Alpha going to be playing on the Radiant side with Deathgun Senpai playing on the Scarith Mage. She mad playing on the Batrider. Bakemono going to be taking up the Troll. Juggernaut played by Miggy, and leaving last but not least, Hurry on the Sand King.
And for Rise, they're down a game, so they have to win this one to make it a tie. And, well, my money's on them because my money's always on the tie. Jalopy is going to be playing the Shadow Fiend over towards mid with Crush on the Doombringer heading down towards the bottom lane. For the top lane, defensive tri-lane of Rise, got Miranda playing the Disruptor. Their GG on the Lion once again, and Matrice playing the Faceless Void. So it's a 3v1 lane, and versus the Batrider, if they get a lucky bash here or there, then Batrider is just going to die. But outside of that, they have more than enough control and damage to kill this bat off.
Yeah, definitely. So Batrider opening up with boots first is going to keep him marginally safe, but especially once we get like level 3 on the Disruptor with a little bit more glimpse, things get really hairy for him. But I think by that time, the Batrider is probably going to leave this lane. Both of the offlaners probably aren't going to be staying in that offlane for long.
Unfortunately, these offlaners have ways of recovering through the jungle. Doom will just eat guys and then get gold from that, and then Batrider will just stack and Firefly it all down. So yeah, it is very possible to see these guys just leaving the their lanes, but also we have Deathgun and Hari just kind of positioned in such a way that would indicate they want to go for an aggressive play. They both have sentries. That is a lot of wasted gold, actually. You don't need that many sentries early on. They also have 2 smokes, so this is going to be a very aggressive early start from these 2 supports of Alpha.
Yeah. I mean, they probably know this, and they just want to get all of the gold, or all of the vision off of the map from Rize to make sure these smoke ganks are successful, but this is not something that you necessarily expect. If you're the Shadow Fiend, they'll open up with a concussive shot. There is a little far behind, but he's still able to get there for the Burrow Strike. They should have enough damage, but they are tanking tower throughout all of this. Turn for 1 raise, 2 raise, it's actually Jalopy to drop for his blood, and in that situation, that's probably as good as it gets.
And they were in a situation where they kind of just had to go for it. Like, you blew the smoke and you don't want to back off after that. That's just awkward. So they layered their stuns a little bit. The Whirling Axes comes at the exact same time as the Burrow Strike, less than ideal. And, well, raises, they do 100 damage at level 1, which is pretty respectable as far as nukes are concerned. So Shadow Fiend able to land a couple of them and ending up with first blood. Yeah, he did die shortly after, but hey, he's going to be pretty happy about that. That smoke gank, I think we could call that a failure.
Yeah, definitely so, especially since that secures your bottle for the Shadow Fiend, and even though usually killing an SF is pretty damning for the hero since he loses all of his souls, that was on the first wave, so he actually didn't have that much, and he's made up that. Although he's going to take a lot of harass in return for Bakemono, he'll be able to heal that up just the same.
Yeah, so over towards bottom lane, Doom is already, a little bit scared in this lane, quite frankly. We'll see if Miggy wants to go for a very heavy Blade Fury build, or if he wants to go for the, I guess, kind of newer stats Blade Dance type build. But either one he wants to go for is going to put a lot of pressure on the Doom, not even to mention the possibility of Scarth Mage and the Sand King moving in there. So this Doom is, doing what he can with Devour, but what he can do is really not that much.
No, not really. It looks like it is going to be a Blade Fury build. Usually you don't go for the second point at 3 unless you are going to fully commit. And he has an Orb of Venom too. I think he might just be able to run down Crush here. He's going to be taking a lot of damage in return. The right clicks from the Doom are not anything to scoff at, and he's going to chase him down. He doesn't have enough mana for the net and shouldn't be a kill in return. But where are the supports in all of this? Maybe he's going to turn for a crit, but maybe he's just secured his own demise. No, he is going to survive at about 50 HP and will be able to salve up. And now the supports have come in. Concussive Shot going to land. They have a Burrow Strike, but they don't even need it. He's completely body blocked in, and Crush can do nothing but trade a couple blows with Harry.
And then Juggernaut comes right back in. 1 slash the sword gets the kill. So, Doom, that was actually pretty bold of him to sit in the Blade Fury and just try to fight it out with the Juggernaut. I'm assuming he thought the spin was level 1, so he's taking quite a bit of extra damage because of that level 2 spin as opposed to a level 1. So usually as Juggernaut, you're going to be pretty happy if the enemies decide to turn and fight, and probably that was not an exception. Though they both do have boots, Juggernaut is going to just narrowly outrun the Doom, so I don't really know if that was the best play for the Doombringer to make. It was awfully risky, but I suppose there is a high reward for it if it works out.
Definitely so. The Orb of Venom on Miggy is doing a lot of work in return, but I suppose we can take a look, if only shortly, at the top lane. Matrix is farming away, and that's going to be the case, and the Batrider, although he has his level 2, can't get much further out of it. They don't have enough mana to glimpse him back, and it's only a level 1 glimpse too, so at least for now, the Batrider is going to get experience.
And unfortunately for them, LurGG, not in the area, moved all the way down to the bottom lane. I didn't see if he teleported there, if he just walked there. Either way, he's still not doing much of anything. He's only level 1, and this is going to be a glacially slow game for the Lion compared to the last one. Not pulling, and he doesn't have any stacks or anything like that. He's making them for Jalopy, but Lion really doesn't have anything going for him right now, and this is not a hero that you want to have sit at level 1. You need level 2, level 3 at the very least if you're going to be effective with this hero.
He will succeed in getting the double stack off, so that is a lot of gold that the Shadow Fiend can fall back on. But for now, mid lane is looking pretty even, and that's good for the Shadow Fiend in all honesty. Right now, Troll is the one that the Shadow Fiend needs to be scared of, and for now, they're pretty much on exact even footing.
Yeah, so Shadow Fiend doing what he can, getting a little bit of gold here and there, and will get accelerated a hell of a lot by the double stacks. He just has to be careful about Deathgun and Hari coming in. Tanking as a haste, and it's still at half duration. They're going to smoke up now. And last time this happened, it didn't work out that well. But this time, it's probably going to work out a little bit better, seeing as though there's level 3 Whirling Axes. Unless they jump the gun, smoke is going to be dispelled on the Sand King, and that is going to mean that they won't get the kill. She-Man up towards top, trying to get a kill on Miranda, will fall short. Lion going to come in for the last hit. And that will be the Batrider going down. Seems like both offlaners making a little bit of a greedy mistake.
Yeah, in that sense, it's fairly even on both sides, but jDL5 narrowly avoiding disaster. The Doom is going to leave the bottom lane. It looks like he wants to find a new creep to munch on. He ends up settling on the Satyr, as Jalopy will make that a little bit larger of a stack, but without the mana to actually raise it down. He's going to have to wait for his bottle to fly out first.
And also looking at the Sand King, that's his second kind of unsuccessful rotation out. He has not much of a jungle to work with either. Like, we have a kind of half double stack on both the hard and the medium camps, and there's a little bit of a stack going in the hard camp, but this Sand King is going to take a hell of a long time before he actually gets his Blink Dagger, and that's usually fine if you're rotating around, having a real significant presence on the map, but he's so far been wandering around to not do that much. He's going to have a limited contribution to this game.
Yeah, pretty much in the same boat that the Lion is, but even the Lion has managed to find himself level 3, and as far as these heroes are concerned, I'd much rather have a level 3 Lion on my side than a level 3 Sand King, just by the nature of how the skills scale.
Yeah, you only need a level 1 Hex, and if you're level 2, you got that level 1 Hex, so what do we do top? Oh, he disconnected?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's see how honorable Rize are.
Well, they say you can kill him, it's fine. I mean, Shimad's in not like the worst position.
I'm assuming he was running down so they could glimpse him right back up, and that's actually not going to take him that far. Oh, it was a bait. They were just trying to get them to fight so that Shimad could turn around and kill them all. No, okay. They're going to do what they can, but it looked like he was never in too much danger. I like it. That's fine.
Yeah, so in the end, it's going to be all in fair play. Everybody's going to be able to retreat. We'll have to see if these stacks are going to come out for Alpha sometime soon, but honestly, I think it's a pretty big missed opportunity not to have your jungle just completely full of farm for yourself when you have a Sand King as well as a Batrider on your team.
Yeah, your stacks are just such an important aspect for both sides. Really, Deathgun going to try to get that bounty. He's going to get it, but it's probably not worth it because he's going to get hexed up and instantly brought down. Probably not worth the, like 30 experience and gold or something like that. So, yeah, at least he denies it to the Shadow Fiend. That's probably what's more relevant. Shadow Fiend's still working with an empty bottle, but hey, getting an extra kill, or did he get the kill? No, he got the assist. So getting an extra assist for the Shadow Fiend, that's just as good as getting a rune, maybe even a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, for now, the game has slowed down a little bit. Both teams just want to farm up, but as far as who is this benefiting, looks like that's going to be pretty much just our safe lane and mid farmers. Both of them pretty much on even footing with each other.
Yeah, I would say in this type of situation, it's going to be benefiting whoever has more going on in their jungle. Hari is starting to get some action going in his own jungle, but we have Jalopy going to start clearing out this 1, 2, 3 stack in the hard camps, and the Doom has been sitting in the jungle for quite a long time as well, so Rize, they're getting value out of their lanes and their jungle, whereas for Alpha, they're just now starting to get value off of their jungle. So clearly, Rize is going to get a little bit more farm a little bit faster than Alpha, but the Batrider needs his Blink Dagger to start being effective, whereas for Rize, they don't really have that many, similar leaps of power. Chronosphere is one, but I don't even know if they have enough damage to put into a Chronosphere to get the kill on this Bat, if Bat is at full HP, of course.
Yeah, they will have a Mask of Madness shortly after Matrix, and at that point, if they just hit him a couple times first, then they should be able to kill off this Batrider. So, yeah, Rize are pretty comfortable just sitting back and farming, especially since they're probably going to have a Midas up on this Doom.
And that is going to be pretty deadly. Elver Crush is going to take a fall over towards mid. Bakemono with the DD plus Battle Trance activated is going to tear through the 4 armor hero of Doom. Down up towards top, rather, Shimad is going to get Chronosphere bashed up as well. LurGG is going to walk through a tower, not instantly die to that, but the creeps might actually do him in. Whirling Axe is one hit, that's going to kill him. And now Matrice, he doesn't have any mana either. Bakemono still with the DD, is going to end up getting a delayed triple kill off of that one. That was not the dive that Rize really wanted, quite frankly. Oh, actually, they're actually going to lose someone else on the bottom lane. Miggy with the Omnislash is going to kill the Disruptor and get out safely. Honestly, they could have just done that exact same play with just the Faceless Void. It would have worked out, but instead, Lion tanking the tower is going to end up losing his life. All of a sudden, Alpha and Bakemono specifically looking fantastic in this game.
Yeah, with 3-0 and 1, you can't ask for much more. Now he's going to pick a fight with the Shadow Fiend. He doesn't get any bashes, so unfortunately that's not going to be a kill, at least for Alpha, but it forces out 2 TPs, so in that sense it's a victory.
Yeah, if you could use a couple of mana points to burn 200 gold off of your enemies, that's so worth it. Down towards bottom lane, Crush is zoned off the lane for now. This Juggernaut has gone for a maxed out Blade Fury build. I love it so much. And, well, he's going to apply some serious pressure down towards bottom lane tower, where Rize are really hesitant to defend. They don't have a Static Storm. They do have a Doom with, I guess, the Doom spell. But even if you cast in the Juggernaut, there's no guarantee you actually get that kill.
Especially not when you don't have the mana for it. Concuption's shot is going to completely zone out the Doom. On top of the 2 TPs that were thrown mid, Jalopy also TPs towards his mid tower mere inches away. Not sure if that was a misclick, I'd assume as much.
Well, it's still potentially going to be a tower push either way. Hari is actually not going to participate in this. He's level 6, with no epicenter. He just wants his blink. But Rize are now in a good position to actually go and apply pressure to the enemy jungle, where they should know that the Sand King is just chilling and farming. Problem being, they don't have any way of interrupting him from that sandstorm except for a blind earth spike. They're going to smoke up and look for a wraparound onto the Juggernaut. If they land a Hex and a Doom, that might very well be a kill. There's the Hex, spike to follow up, I'm sure, and the glimpse back. Miggy is going to take a lot of damage, but he will get the spin off, and he will turn around, actually. Troll coming in as well. He will get doomed in the end. That is going to be lethal damage, but a 2-man spike is going to mean that it's going to be a 1 for 3 if the Juggernaut dies at all. Is this a lethal Doom? It looks like it may very well be, but still, it's so worth it for Alpha to take those types of trades. And no, the Doom isn't actually lethal. The Juggernaut lives.
And now with Healing Ward, he's going to be back in fit fighting shape. A disaster for Rize. That first Doom should have netted them a kill, but a really nice turnaround from them. Perfect silence coming out from the Skywrath Mage, making sure that that Doom couldn't get it off when he wanted to, and with that Blade Fury damage on the 3 enemy heroes, it does a lot, and it really is the power of this Max Blade Fury build.
And man, that's not something you could do with that other build. If he tried to make that play, most assuredly Rize would have walked away with, maybe only 1 casualty, which still would have been not the best, but still it's a lot worse. It's a lot better than 3. So Juggernaut, gonna be happy that he survives that, holding on to almost 2,000 gold. If last game was any indication, maybe Yasha and Manta going to be the build for him, but bottom line, he's going to be holding on to a lot of net worth, similar to the Troll Warlord, who already has his Yasha, and with the Ogre Club in his stash, looks like he's going to be going for the SNY. Compare that to what Rize have, nothing, and well, Alpha are sitting at quite an advantage. Miggy also has an Omni Slash prepped right now. This tower might be denied, and that will be not the best for Alpha, but if LurGG gets a little bit too close, he's going to get Omni Slash. There is a nice Chronosphere onto 2. Miggy going to take a fall, even though he is still spinning. Not much you can do after that. Death Gun now going to take a raise. He'll die as well. Tower, though, was destroyed. All things considered, not really the worst for Alpha, but that Chronosphere, man, you gotta respect it no matter what stage of the game you're in.
Range Jax is going to get Vision of Crush, but the Troll is just going to go back to taking this tier 1 tower in mid. So I think all things considered, Alpha are going to be okay with that since they do take a favorable tower trade.
And Alpha, their Juggernaut's going to get a little bit of extra gold from that, enough gold for a Yasha, and they're buying a lot of space for, crucially, the Sand King grab his Blink, which is going to show off towards Jalopy. He was trying to go for a Requiem combo onto Bakemono. Instead, he'll get hit with the Burrow Strike, and he'll be obliterated. Heal Scepter, as nice as it is for the Shadow Fiend, only works when you're in a 1v1. Finger of Death, though, onto Death Gun. And LurGG going to claim that kill, but at the cost of his own life. Has TP support coming in from this Disruptor with the haste. Hari going to man fight it out because what more can you do? Lasso onto Miranda, a little bit too late to help out, but it will get the kill anyway, making it even trade. And Bakemono should be getting this kill as well, and he will indeed take that last hit. That's a 3 for 2, and look at this, the tower is also very vulnerable. Patrice is going to start a fight with Bakemono, but the bash is there. Sanjin Yasha, as well as the damage, he's going to get a free double. Troll Warlord, or Faceless Void rather, picking a fight that he should not be picking. This Troll Warlord is dangerous, and he's almost doubling up the net worth of this Faceless Void.
Yeah, and the Doom was also spent trying to save the Faceless Void. If Bakemono wasn't as lucky with the bashes, maybe it even works out, since he's not able to change over to range axes, and maybe Faceless Void can run out of there, but not going to be the case. Bakemono is currently 7-0-4, and primed to be an absolute one-man wrecking crew. Not really anything that Rize have at their disposal to deal with him at all.
They have the hopes of catching him with the Doom, maybe a Hex from around a corner or something like that, but outside of that, it's just not going to be enough, because Troll Warlord, if he gets like Helm of the Dominator or something like that, or BKB, then he'll just be able to turn around and kill anyone if they go at him 1v1. Hell, even 1v2, it's going to be pretty dangerous. Up towards top lane, pretty sure they're going to wait for an epicenter. They actually see Jalopy coming in, They have two very easy targets right now for these two supports, but they're going to play it safe, wait for someone else to come in. It's a Juggernaut. He's not that healthy, but a Blink Burrow Strike, oh, they're holding on quite a long time. Matrice is going to see them now. They're going to open up onto Jalopy off to the side. Mystic Flare not available. Damage not quite going to be enough. They're going to chase him down regardless. Eul Scepter is there to peel away, and now with the Chronosphere onto 2, they can't really do much to help out the two supports, Alpha. They're going to lose them both. Glimpse back on the Juggernaut will be canceled by that Blade Fury, but they waited for a hell of a long time. I thought for sure you would just prime an Epicenter and go for the Shadow Fiend, but they just didn't decide to go for that.
Yeah, I thought that was the play as well, but in the end, their patience is going to be their undoing, at least in that fight up towards top mid lane. Troll going to find himself a free Doom. Can he actually bridge the gap? TP attempt. Crush is going to get bashed, and there's actually nothing he can do at that point. Monster kill spree for Bakemono.
And Bakemono bridging the gap is going to be a cakewalk for him, seeing as though he's now holding onto a Blink Dagger. So between Blink and moving at 450 movement speed, you probably can't escape from him. Even if he gets Glimpse back, you probably keep the chase on. Batrider, speaking of Glimpse back, is going to get glimpsed right into a static kinetic field. Rather, Jalopy is going to miss his ultimate, though. He was also sitting in Firefly the entire time. One raise, second raise can't quite come out. Neutrals are going to get 1. 2 kills? No, just 1. So for Shadow Fiend, things could have gone a lot worse, but things could have gone a lot better as well. Juggernaut, in the meantime, going to claim a kill on the top lane. They finally get their blood, and it's going to be on Lion. This game is just not going well for Rize.
Bakemono, in the meantime, has been doing Roshan, even without lifesteal, is still able to just perma-bash the poor guy down. And now with an Aegis, Invis Rune pop, Bakemono looks like he's going to find a pretty easy kill onto poor Miranda if he's not careful.
Yeah, this tower isn't really going to be that much safety for the Disruptor either. Troll Warlord is big enough with the Aegis to just dive through it. And Miranda, oh no, don't go that way. He has Doom right behind him, blink forward, whirling axes, and a couple more right clicks. He's stuck in the range for him, but he gets glimpsed out. The panic glimpse from the Disruptor is going to give Bakemono a free passage out of there. Not like he was in that much danger to begin with, but hey, it's always nice to have a free escape. And now he's going to rejoin with his buddies, and one of those buddies has a healing ward in 13 seconds. This push is going to be incredibly deadly.
Yeah, and he still has that Aegis. Bakemono has lost nothing, and now they should be able to take this fight even without, excuse me, their full 5-man lineup. They don't have to deal with the Shadow Fiend Requiem, and now they get the Blink Burrow Strike onto the Faceless Void, obliterated. They will Nurse Spike onto 2 and a Finger of Death onto Harry, but then again, the Bladefish is just doing too much damage to the line in return. Easy 2 kills for Alpha, and the Tier 2 tower should fall as well, and now they get Vision of the Doom. Crush Dota without his namesake spell is going to be cleaved down by the Juggernaut, and the Shadow Fiend also, as he's killed off by the Troll. 4-0.
And I can see it right now. People are going to be like, oh my god, guys, the Juggernaut's spell, Blade Fury, is really good. We should be maxing this one out. Why haven't we done this before? And I'm just going to be face-palming the entire time. So many of these plays are enabled by the fact that this Blade Fury is doing so much damage, and it's working so well for Alpha. They're applying pressure in the mid-game, and it's only 16 minutes in, yet it feels like it's 25 based on how much damage their Juggernaut and Troll Warlord are doing right now. I mean, the Batrider doesn't even have a freaking Blink Dagger, but Rize are still getting blindsided just because they have to deal with the Blink Dagger on Sand King and a Blink Dagger Burrow Strike with everyone else on Alpha being able to close in, or just a Mystic Flare to kill him off instantly. Rize, they need to be the ones making this jump, and in that sense, it's up to Faceless Void. But, I mean, the Chronospheres have been good so far. You are going to need a little bit more than just a Chronosphere when the Juggernaut is, or the Troll Warlord is still holding on to the Aegis. Speaking of, he's going to try to go for the Shadow Fiend, gets a first hit bash after the Eul Scepter, tears him to shreds. The Shadow Fiend has 6 souls. That is just not supposed to happen except for 0 minutes in the game. Miranda is also going to get jumped by Harry. Static Storm is there, but Bakemono's there as well. We'll get a Beyond Godlike Streak, double kill as well. In the meantime, Juggernaut solo kills the Doom. This game is falling apart for Rize. I honestly don't know if there's much that they could do outside of hope and pray that their Chronospheres are good enough.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much all that they can do. They need their Shadow Fiend to have a little bit more space so it can actually get off a nice ultimate. Scarf Mage is going to get killed off by Matrix. He didn't have to use the Chrono for that. So I suppose that's nice and all, but this Faceless Void actually has no points in the backtrack. He is so squishy.
And he actually had, or could have had, a point in backtrack, yet deciding to go for stats. Not really sure if it's going to make a huge difference, but backtrack I hear is pretty good, so they should consider that. In the meantime, they're going to be losing all of their outer tier 2 towers. With Battle Trance, it's so easy to take these things out. And Rize, they're now going to have to worry about a high ground push. They still have the Aegis on this Troll Warlord. It looks like it's going to be a little bit unfortunate timing for Alpha. They're going to back off and wait for a new Aegis, most likely, before they actually make that high ground push. But honestly, they're in no rush.
Yeah, definitely not right now. Alpha can just chill. Their Aegis is probably not going to be there long enough for them to go for high ground. But yeah, right now they just have too many ways to start fights and too much damage to follow it up. Rize are going to rely almost entirely on finding pickoffs and just delaying the game. Doom ends up going for a drums build, and although this is nice and all to kind of help you fight, I think it pales in comparison to having a Blink or a Midas.
And he really needs something that's a little bit more heavy hitting than just the drum. Miranda, in the meantime, is going to run into an invisible Scarith Mage, drops an Observer Ward. Unfortunately, that's the wrong ward to drop. He really wished he had the blue one right now. Deathgun can get the kill by himself. He just has to wait for Miranda to run in a straight line. Mystic Flare is being held. There's the Burrow Strike, and the ultimate isn't even needed. In the meantime, they're going to try to go for Jalopy at the exact same time. Bakemono already used his Battle Trance. Chasing forward for that Shadow Fiend. He's not quite fast enough, but a kill is a kill, and that's another drum charge out of the pocket of Rize. They are looking like they're going to go for a high ground push. It seems a little bit risky, though.
Yeah, this could go poorly for them unless they find a kill onto Matrix, most importantly beforehand. The Dire Vision has spotted out these two supports, and Faceless Void should be careful enough right now. But Alpha are constricting any movements coming up from Rize. They'll farm up their woods and farm up their ancients, and right now Rize, the only gold that they're going to be seeing is whatever's at their front door. Scarith Mage and Sand King are going to be bumped into by the Shadow Fiend, but that's about it.
Man, the front door of Rize isn't even that safe. Like, the Alpha side have some pretty aggressive Observer Wards, so they know exactly whenever anyone from Rize are going to be leaving their base. And with a Blink Dagger Burrow Strike from Sand King that will be followed up with a Mystic Flare, it's only just these two support heroes that Alpha need to be patrolling between these two wards in order to get kills. Like Crush Dota right now, he's feeling pretty safe. He's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and jungle it up, and he's going to be safe because that Burrow Strike was just short. But Batrider's Lasso, that's also not going to be pulled. But still, the bottom line is that wherever you go as Rize to get this supposedly easy farm, you're putting yourself in a lot of trouble.
Okay, so right now Doom is sitting on the Purge creep. What do you think that's actually going to accomplish? Well, hold that thought. They time walk in, Chronosphere on the Bakemono, but do they even have the damage? They'll drop the Finger of Death and pretty much everything. But the Lion is probably going to die in return. No, the lasso on the Matrix. Bakemono is going to be able to kill him off. There is a Requiem over the sidelines. They will eventually lose their Troll, and Jalopy will finish off the Scarith Mage as well. Dooming up the Bat, She-Mad, also going to end up losing his life. Harry is sandstorming up, but now the Omni Slash comes through, and Juggernaut's going to clean house. Bash on to crush Dota and Miggy. He gets purged up, but now Drum Charge popped, and that purge is going to wear off soon enough. Miggy should be able to chase down Crush Dota with the Drums of Endurance, and, well, he's just going to cleave him down. Wicked sick, and a triple kill. Juggernaut's the only survivor.
Yeah, well, that's because he came to the fight really late, was not there for the initial burst of damage. I guess we saw the value of that purge. It is a very potent slow, but I think it will take off Battle Trance, but that's about it. Not entirely sure if that's worth it for the Rize side to have, but that was probably the best fight that they could have asked for. Like, Alpha, they were all scattered. They started things off with a 2v4 or something like that, and those sound like pretty good odds at any stage of the game. Just having the Juggernaut not there meant that Rize could have gotten a lot more done, and even though they don't outright kill the Troll, they end up bringing him down in the end. If they keep doing that, it'll be their path to recovery in this game, but the odds of Alpha letting that happen for 1, 2, 3 more times are so incredibly small that it's not really worth hinging your bets upon.
No, definitely not. Juggernaut also is sitting on enough gold. If he wants it, he can straight up buy an Abyssal Blade, and that's so scary at this point. And, well, if you take a look at Miggy's attack speed with the Battle Trance, he's cleaving through heroes so quickly. If he gets that Abyssal, I don't really see Rize actually escaping them, especially not now that they have the Scotty up on the Troll. Bakemono is also dishing.
Yeah, if he gets a Maim, if he gets that Eye of Scotty slow, then even Yule's Scepter isn't really going to save the heroes from Rize. Miggy might want to go for like a little bit more of a mixed survivability build as well, but hell, you're at 4,500 gold, and you're conveniently right next to that secret shop. You might as well just get the relic because it's right there. But there, you could see what they're doing right now. Alpha, they're pushing in the mid lane with Bakemono, they're pushing in the bottom lane with everyone else, and that just means they're setting up for Roshan. If Alpha are really lucky, this Roshan is going to respawn instantly. I did not get a good look at the timer previously to see when it's going to respawn, so if they're unlucky, they have to wait, but even then, it's not too bad.
It's going to be a 30-second respawn timer, so pretty darn short. Although this illusion's going to wear off before then, they should be able to mop that up without really any reaction coming out from Rize, even though theoretically a Disruptor and Shadow Fiend Ultimate and Chronosphere is really nice in the Chronosphere.
Oh, Courier.
Well, yeah, that was just a really easy snipe. Bakemono snags that one for his team. Is holding on to a point booster. Who is that for? Looks like it was for the Doom.
Yeah, it's gonna just be, a value item for him. It's not a completed full high ticket price item, but it's an item that you are not gonna have, and at this point they desperately need anything that they can get. And well, in the meantime, the Roshan is going to be crushed by Bakemono by himself. He has lifesteal, he has a lot of tankiness, and now he's going to get a little bit of help from Miggy and Rize. They're just way too far away to contest this. If they were right here, maybe a Chronosphere would be good enough, but it's a little bit late. We have an Eye of Skadi and the Juggernaut. That's your mixed survivability item I was talking about, and now an Aegis Control Warlord. They should just look to group up and push something. Any lane. Pick a lane. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think anything else is probably a little bit of a mistake by Alpha. Not to say they're losing the game, but I think right now, relative to the enemy team, it's probably their biggest leap of power. Bakemono gets fingered, but that hardly tickles them. He still has an Aegis. The Requiem is going to be unwound, but now the Burrow Strike catches out Jalopy. Doom onto Bakemono, but he just doesn't care. Gonna go to town onto Crush, still chasing him through. Chronosphere comes out, but he ends up dying just the same. The Sand King's Yule's up into the air, and he's still surviving throughout all of this. They'll blink forward, find the line. The Earth Spike doesn't even connect, and Harry lives.
Bakemono, even though he was doomed the entire time, he was chasing down everyone with his melee form. Luckily for him, he was in that form, and he was just crushing everyone. Rize, that was a mediocre Chronosphere. It was a mediocre usage of Doom. It was the Static Storm that really didn't do all that much. The Requiem barely hit anyone. And honestly, if it all hit more people, I don't even think that would have done it. Maybe they could have brought down the Aegis. Maybe they could have gotten a kill here or there. But I'm pretty sure the writing was on the wall. They were doomed to fall if Alpha kept on playing the way they were.
Yeah, in the end, a really dominating performance coming up from Team Alpha, and they are going to go ahead and close out this game 2-0. Well played to them, and, well, not terrible play by Rize either, but they're definitely on the ropes. I think they pretty much need to win every single game left in the JDL series if they want a chance to come back into Division 2. Thanks for watching. We've been here on HeflaTV. If you like the casting, you can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at HeflaTV, and the VODs we upload to youtube.com/HeflaMilk. I think we'll have another series later on in the evening, but for now, the stream will be going offline. If you want to follow us individually, I'm GrandisV, and he's been Mikelorus. Any final thoughts?
Not really. Just well played by Alpha, and well, hopefully for Rize they could rally and get a couple more victories. But this was a pretty convincing 2-game series for Alpha.
Definitely so. See you soon.